Well, welcome back to Living with a Classic, and we're here with an L322, but it's not my wife's supercharged. This is an early L322. It's a 2003 4.4 V8, so the BMW engine, and it's a customer of mine, and it's in there for some work. I've already done a couple things on it, but this one might be a little interesting. The fuel gauge doesn't work, and well, there are two fuel level sensors on these cars. We have a couple spares, so let's have a look and see if we can fix that. First, I have the keys here. Let me show you. We don't even have to turn it on. We just turn on ignition and show you that it reads all the way empty and the fuel warning light is on. And that's not fun when you have a car with this sort of fuel economy and you don't know how much fuel is in it. So inside, it's really rather nice. And if you look here, ignition is on. It reels all the way down. And everything in range and nothing like that works. So I've already prepared just a little bit, just folded up the seats. That's really simple. Fuel pump and the level sensors are under here. So if I believe correctly, the fuel pump is on the right and there is the main level sensor, and then on the left you have the reserve light. Not really sure if that's correct or not. But we're going to have a look at both. I know, judging by the history of the car, that it wasn't that long ago it had a fuel pump. So maybe just something wasn't hooked up correctly or anything like that. Let's hope. So you fold up the seats. And then you remove these trim sides here, which I think should just... I think they just snap into place. Yeah. Two hands would be easier, but... yeah. Alright, you see, they come off like that. I'll remove both of those with two hands. And this carpet lifts up here. And then we'll have two covers here. We can open up and have a look at the fuel pump and the senders. I removed the spare tire along with the cover over that. So we can get these straps out, which are bolted through the carpet. And then the side panels, they're connected up top, but you only would need to remove them from the bottom. I'll put these straps to the side. Now, we hopefully should be able to lift up this carpet. Oh, really? Oh, I thought there were slots there. Alright, these handles need to come off here as well. Oh gosh, they're tight. There we go. Both handles out of the way. Let's see if that is enough or if I've forgotten something else. Alright. Yeah, definitely has had a fuel pump because this carpet's been ripped here. So here are the covers. So what I'm going to do is I have a strap here. There's some holes for the carpet, so I'm going to strap it up through the seats and try and get the carpet out of the way as much as possible, and we get access to these two covers here. Alright, so this seems to actually be working pretty well. Now we can get enough access to get to the fuel pump. I believe the fuel pump is on this side, and the other side has the other sender. And I think we're going to check this side first, just because I've been told this car had a fuel pump. So maybe something went wrong with that. Or maybe it's just a bad sender unit. I do have a sender unit that the customer purchased for the car. So we can try that as well. And then we can try maybe plugging it in without actually putting any fuel, and moving the unit back and forth and seeing if, or the sender back and forth and seeing if the fuel gauge moves. Alright, so there is just a big connector up there, and we have everything for the fuel pipes there. I'm going to have a look at the other side as well, and have a look at the new sender, and then sort of figure out what our next step is going to be. Before I continue, I just read the codes, and I'm getting an error in fuel level sender 2. I'm going to check which side that is, but I think that is the left side. The connector is disconnected, and you have 2 fuel lines here. It was a long time since this car ran, well, I mean, almost a week, so it shouldn't really be too much fuel pressure. But I want to get these rings off first before I open these up, because they're metal and it might not spark, but when I hit them you might get a spark. So we'll crack those off. I'm going to clean the area just around them a bit, just spray. This is like WD-40 and just clean it up a little bit. So I'm hoping that is something just not connected on here, otherwise I do have a new sender for the other side. But step 1 is to get this one off. So we'll get the fuel lines off. You push down, then you pry underneath the red part up. They click off. Undo the vent, undo this, and get the pump out of there. Start by undoing this part here. And of course, we're doing this outside. The battery's disconnected, and yeah, everything's open because there will be a lot of gas fumes. Alright, that has popped up. Now, I think we're just gonna pry it down again and just screw this in a tiny bit, just so it has some form of stability. And then we will get hose off, and a little bit of fuel spillage here, but not much at all. We'll dry that up. And now, see the connector to the other side and the hoses should be accessible here, and I just want to see if that is the problem or not. Yeah, this is way too tight to film in here, sorry, but this is actually really rather tight. Alright. Okay, well, it is connected. No, it's not. Is it? It's not connected all the way. Let me show you guys for a closer look. It's not clicked in. Okay, so in here, look right there. It's really hard to see, but there's a plastic tab over there. That's supposed to be all the way in there. So that connector is not clicked in. So let me actually click it in somehow. And I might need some long pliers. Click that in, and then I'll see if we actually have. We'll have to put it all together because we switched the ignition on. But let's do that and actually see if it works, because that would be great. Oh, it's tight, but I can just get my hand in here. That's great. Hand inside the fuel tank. I just felt the click. And in visual inspection, yes, it is clicked. So if you have a look at this part here, this is what I'm clicking in. That little thing there, it was sitting there. So it is locked in. That is looking really good. I'm just gonna try and do it one more time. All right, let me assemble this, hook up some power, and see if it works. Otherwise, well, now we know how to get a part to replace it, but hopefully that fixes it. Connect up the last thing. I'm just soaking up any tiny amount of fuel spill, because there was really nothing. Now it's the electrical connector. Get that into place. There we go. That is all connected up. Now I guess we'll hook up the battery, turn on the ignition, of course check for leaks, but most importantly check if the fuel gauge goes up. We should be somewhere around half tank, maybe less than that, but yeah, a little bit less than that, but I think that's where we're at. Moment of truth. Yes. Fuel gauge moves up. That's awesome. It is running now. We got some air suspension fault. That's just because the battery's been disconnected. Drive it a bit, turn it off, it goes away. Fuel gauge seems to be working. And we got to check for leaks back here. Well, just a faint hum of a pump. And everything is really good. So, put all these covers back on, put the interior back in, and the job's finished. I've taken it for a little bit of a drive, and fuel gauge just seemed to be moving. I will put some fuel in it as well next time, see that it goes up as well, but everything seems to be working now. So it ended up being quite an easy fix, but still going into the fuel tank, and yeah, not the most fun job, but at least we didn't have to replace any of the parts, and yeah, we can just return the other part. So that is the one thing to think about. Always, if you can figure out what happened before, and I figured out that it had a fuel pump or quoted for one pretty much not that long ago, and I'm thinking, all right, this issue probably wasn't there then, because if it was, you would have fixed that at the same time. So it probably happened afterwards, and then I checked that that thing had to be plugged in. So that is a siphon and a sensor. So basically you have, it's a fuel tank, but it's split in two sides because you have a drive shaft going through the middle. So there's a siphon from one side going to the other. So most likely it's also going to run better. It didn't run badly before, but now it's going to get fuel better, I think, because it's not only going to pick up fuel from the right side of the tank, it's going to be able to pick it up from the left side as well. So really, really good news, and hopefully everything works as it should. And you saw, it's not too bad axes. On earlier Range Rovers like the P38, you need to really remove the fuel tank. Some people cut a hole under the rear seat, but doing a fuel pump on one of these is not that bad. Same goes on some Jags like the S-Type. It's the same thing, it's just under the seat, and that is a lot nicer compared to like the XJ40 and things, where the fuel pump is yeah, it's in the tank and you need to remove the tank, and that is, yeah. Some people remove the parcel shelf and cut a hole in there, which is I think it's a good idea, because there's some fasteners on those tanks, which is difficult, but that is different sort of car. Anyways, I hope you guys liked this little different video. I have a couple more small jobs to do on this car, and then the customer can pick it up. And I think he was gonna pick it up in a week or so, but I'd like to be done with it a little bit before that. Anyways, if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with friends. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. It really does help out a lot. Till next time, I'm Adam. This is Living with a Classic. I'll see you soon.